And welcome back, everybody. This is Movies Beyond. I'm Callum. That is Kyle. Kyle, how are we doing today? Mate, why do you fucking pause at every time? Come on, be engaging. Get people. You know, the first 30 seconds is the most important part to get people in, and you just go, "Hi, I'm Kyle." You know, you don't even say that. You just put your thumbs up.
Right. I am Kyle.
There we go. That's
No,
better.
wait.
Roll tape.
I am Kyle.
There we go. Yeah. Don't be shy, Kyle. We've been doing this for over a year now.
I'm not shy. I just don't like people asking how I am because it's like I don't even. Yeah. Ask. Right. First topic. This is quite exciting.
This is quite exciting. The Academy wants Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds to host the Oscars. Now, doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna. Busy men. You know, Hugh's done it before. Hugh has hosted the Oscars before. So, it's not out the realm of possibility. But, I would watch the Oscars if this happened. I never watch them. I like leading up to the Oscars and, you know, what's nominated. And I think, right, I should probably watch that. You know, leading up to it. You see what's coming. You know, looking out for new, upcoming, you know, sometimes upcoming actors. And you think, oh, what do I want to see them in? But I've never really been a big fan of the ceremony, the show. You know, I'm always interested in who wins Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best, you know, Supporting Actor and all that stuff. But, yeah, if they did this, I am in. I'm watching.
Because, can I just say,
no,
the only time I've ever watched one of these award shows, whether it be the Emmys, Oscars, whatever, is when Ricky Gervais.
Mate, you need to start, mate. We fucking mentioned this last time. Gervais, get it right. You're a fucking Brit.
Anyways, whenever he hosts, well, when he used to host, his jokes were just some of the best material.
So he did, he did the Golden Globes, which is like are not very serious, and you pretty much buy the awards there, and it's like, well, we want Johnny Depp to show up, so let's have him show up to our award show by saying, we'll give him the Golden Globe for it.
Yeah, unless there's someone up there entertaining, and I'm sure there has been over the years. For me, I've just, if it's nothing, if it's nobody that's going to really bring character to it, then I'm not really going to care. But if these two are up together, then, you know, it's a match made in heaven. Like, of course, I'd love to see some more Ryan and Hugh on screen.
Yeah, I would see anything Ryan and Hugh on screen. Anything. They just work so well together. And, you know, another thing that we're looking at...
It's funny that, you know, our next topic is Bane and Deathstroke, you know. Imagine them two if they were them.
You know, it's funny because the Oscars has been struggling with ratings over the years. I think last year was the first year it actually went up and didn't go down. It'd been going down for years. But I only think that's because people were tuning in to see if someone's going to get fucking slapped again. So, you never know. But this, you can't deny that this would be ratings gold.
It would.
People will be tuning in to see this. They'll be like, yes, please. Now, the only other thing I can look at is there a promotion, and you know, like a promotion angle that Ryan had come at it from? You know what I mean? Because, you know, at one point in the stage, he's going to walk out in a big bottle of aviation gin, like dressed as one or something. So, if that's allowed, but that would probably be part of his terms and conditions because he is marketing.
This guy is, he's the master of it, you know. It's because people want to see him, no matter what it does, what he does. And it's also just he's good at doing the marketing. Do you know what I mean? So it's hand in hand with it. So yeah, I'm with you. I'll watch this if these two are on screen again together. I would love to see it. Obviously, Deadpool and Wolverine is coming out
tomorrow on digital.
Tomorrow, yeah. So you can purchase it there.
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I need to.
So. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the outtakes and stuff like that. I think I might. I don't have a DVD player. I need a DVD player because I want to get the Blu-ray with all the bloopers and things like that.
That won't be out until end of month.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, it should be in a special version of it, shouldn't it?
The bloopers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like digital, but if you want like the Blu-ray, so it always does digital, and then 3 weeks later it'll go on physical media.
Okay.
So
that's good to know.
Yeah, because I know these things.
Yes, you do.
But yeah, I want to see Hugh Jackman have a sing and dance as well on stage, like he did last time. Have you seen when Hugh hosted the Oscars?
I haven't. No.
It was all right. It were all right. It's nowhere near as bad as when fucking James Franco did it. That was horrible. But anyway,
yeah.
Let's get on to the next topic. You know, this is 2 days in a row now. Oh no, it's not. But we did it last week as well. We're doing it this week. Not a single Marvel topic. This one doesn't count because it's about Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, not about Deadpool and Wolverine. This is coming to us from The Hollywood Reporter. Bane and Deathstroke together in a movie, working together, fighting against each other, whatever. Now, one thing why you'd believe this, it's coming to us from The Hollywood Reporter. One of the biggest trades, and they don't put shit out unless they know their sources, their trusted sources, are 100% on what they're telling them. This ain't like Daniel RPK, because he's an independent, he can put stuff out, other, Jeff Snyder, stuff like that, independent. I believe them when they say they've been told stuff, but it might not necessarily be true. This stuff gets checked and verified with, like, Variety, Hollywood Reporter. Another thing that might lead you to believe this is James Gunn usually comes down and shoots down rumours.
Which he needs to stop doing. We've spoke about this before. James Gunn, we love you, but you need to stop doing this thing because now it's making it harder for you in the future to hide things. When it comes to sort of like secrets and bits and bobs, like it's nice to know when something's shot down. You know, like the Arkham, not the Arkham game, sorry, the
Batman game in the Batman universe.
Batman game. Yeah, which would have been nice, but unfortunately he came out and said it's not true, guys. So, there's pros and cons to it, but I think the cons definitely outweigh the pros.
He needs to take a leaf out of Kevin Feige's book. Kevin Feige is very good at taking people's questions on when he's asked and redirecting them in a certain way. Even if it's not true or it is true. I mean, there is that one time though when it's not really the same, but do you remember that interview he did with Amy Pascal and
I think no.
Where she mentions Venom being in the MCU or something, and he's like,
well, there's that, but I was talking about something else. Do you remember when someone asked him about when are we going to see like a buddy show between Falcon and Winter Soldier, and he was like, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, on Civil War press style that was. So James Gunn, we love you, but you need to start keeping your mouth shut. Which maybe now he's listened to our advice because it's only us who's been saying this. Keep your fucking mouth shut, James. But we love you, and I'm excited for your DC universe. Very excited. So maybe he is keeping his mouth a bit shut now. Maybe he's like, no, maybe I'm not going to get involved in about everything now. So that's good. But also, this is coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter as well. So maybe you don't want to come out and shoot down a trade like that. It's not just someone on Twitter, someone on Instagram, or someone on Reddit. This is an actual trade. So maybe you don't want to do that. All that being said, Kyle, Bane and Deathstroke film. You excited for it if it happens? Is something you want to see?
Yeah, so I've always been 100% give us films about villains. I am fine with that. It's just tricky to do that sort of thing. Obviously, with Venom, they've just barely managed to scrape by without having Spider-Man. Of course, we would still love to have Spider-Man in those films. Joker, great example. That was showing
Joker
sort
2
of
on
like his
Friday.
Joker 2 on Friday. That was sort of showing his origins kind of thing. And obviously we're getting Joker 2. It's weird. I think definitely it works for maybe one film, unless the character has so much more than, just being the villain of, say, for example, these guys here, Batman. If they've got a lot more history in the comics, then of course, yes, give us more films, sequels to it, whatever. But definitely, I'm fine with, even if it's just a one-off, to maybe introduce the villain, give the villain some weight. Because, look, Avengers Infinity War, as much as we love that film, it is Thanos' film. He wins. He's not the hero, but he's the villain, and you're following him.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, Thor does play a big role in that film as well. I'm not discrediting that.
Cuts his balls off.
I am so down for it. A Deathstroke film. Deathstroke, we were supposed to get him in Zack Snyder's universe, but unfortunately that has all crumbled down. It no longer exists.
Yeah, played by Joe Manganiello.
Yeah, that would
have been great. Now, look,
yeah.
While we're on the topic of the Snyderverse, let's just sneak this in here. 'Cause whenever we talk about old new DC, people like to bring it up. Restore the Snyderverse. Just let it go. Just let it go. It's done. It's over. Give James a chance. His 2 DC projects that he's done are fucking phenomenal. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 might one of be the best films he's ever done, which is phenomenal as well. So, people, I don't think it's a James Gunn problem. It's more of people want Zack Snyder
still
back.
Holding on.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I get that people are passionate about what they love, but
I mean, I'll say
they need to
look
at it from a realistic point of view. It wasn't critically and financially viable. The Snyderverse.
But as well, Colin, people were saying like, "Oh, how shit these films are," and people were slating them off. And it's like, where were you guys that are now wanting it back? Where were you guys?
In
it's
2016.
like the whole Andrew thing.
Yeah.
So it's the same. It's the same thing, but with
I do know one person who was there.
Yeah.
The Bad Habits friend of the channel here. Batman v Superman lover. I like Batman v Superman. I like the director's cut. Like, I don't hate any of the Zack Snyder films either. Like, all of his films I quite enjoy.
I'll say this. Zack Snyder, he's not perfect, but definitely his art, his style, his direction in films is something we really enjoyed, especially in the earlier days of the DCU. Obviously, Man of Steel is phenomenal. I really like that film too.
That's one you've come around on quite a bit as well, innit? Because I remember...
Kinda. I always liked it. I just don't think I appreciated the how much of it hits, and it does. So I've always liked that film.
Like I say, I'll sit here right now and say I love Man of Steel and I love Henry Cavill as Superman. But I tell you what, I can't wait for James Gunn's Superman film and David Corenswet being Superman.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But here's the thing, though, Colin. With this new universe that we're getting, do you see a potential chance of Zack Snyder returning to direct a film in the future?
No chance.
Do you not?
No chance. Look, I think he's mentioned it before, and he's... I think this was on the Joe Rogan podcast, actually. He's done with that world. He said the only thing he would return to do...
Money talks.
The only thing he'd return to do is a comic book accurate version of The Dark Knight Returns. Page for page. That's the only thing he said he'd return to do, which he kind of tried to do a little bit of in Batman v Superman. But yeah, he said that's the only thing he'd come back and do.
Yeah. No, of course. As I like to keep an open mind. I like to think maybe in the future he could return to do something.
I'd love if he did, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see anyways, and maybe the Snyder fans might get a bit of inner peace with this if he does return and direct something.
I think they got that though with the Snyder Cut.
Yeah,
if the studio wasn't in that spot,
cried about it when it died off.
Yeah, and one thing I always compare it to is the Save Daredevil movement to the release of Snyder Cut. If you just look at it, it's like night and day. It's like, the Save Daredevil stuff, we're doing charity stuff. Yeah, there's Snyder stuff, we're doing charity stuff as well, but there was also emailing execs telling them they're going to kill them because they didn't release a Snyder Cut, so...
Yeah, it's a crazy world we live in.
But anyway, Bane and Deathstroke, fuck yeah, I'm up for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Right, let's get on to our next one. Peaky Blinders. We're getting a Peaky Blinders movie. And this is our first look at Cillian Murphy in the Peaky Blinders movie.
Thomas Shelby. Yeah, but for people who don't know the show, it's about sort of the Peaky Blinders gang. They were a real gang, but they were nothing like how they are in the show. I've watched the show a good 2 or 3 times. It is fucking phenomenal. Cillian Murphy absolutely killed it in the role. All the cast was phenomenal, and the show. Unfortunately, the show ended, but it left it open. Now, I know Callum hasn't seen the last season. I know, what a bitch. So no spoilers here on my end, but it definitely left it open for a film. But it concluded the show in such a nice way, but at the same time, it leaves you excited for what's to come. Because when I finished watching the final season, I knew there was going to be a movie. I didn't think it could be possible, though. I heard a lot of things, Callum, you know this. The Walking Dead, we were supposed to get a Rick Grimes film, or a trilogy even.
Yeah, 3 Rick Grimes movies.
Yeah, which that didn't happen. We ended up getting loads of different spin-off shows. So, but before that, even then, we were supposed to get a movie that was going to cap off Breaking Bad, which we did with El Camino, which is fucking phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Some of the best I've ever seen. So, after that came out and I started hearing about, we're getting a Peaky Blinders film after the show, I was like, okay, this is now very real, very possible, and I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yeah, this is a joint Netflix and BBC production, so interesting to see what's going to happen with that. I'm assuming that we'll get theatrical release here, and maybe Netflix.
It would be nice.
Netflix, overseas. So,
yeah. I love how we were talking about Netflix previously and saying like how we don't see, we don't value Netflix that much anymore. But when they do shit like this, I'm like, okay, I might keep my subscription.
Well, that's the thing. Every now and then with Netflix, they put out that much shit, but for every 100 pieces of shit, there's something that's fucking great.
Yeah.
So
100%.
Yeah. Would you say that the show? Obviously, I ain't seen it. Would you say that the show left in a point where you could have stopped watching there? Didn't have to continue, but they can.
Somewhat, yeah. I think it did a really good divide of 50-50 for me. But if you knew there was a film coming out anyways, like my mum got me actually into the show. She told me about it, and I sat down.
That's funny.
I sat down
because the show's got Tom Hardy in it.
Well, and Cillian Murphy. Yeah. I just think I watched it.
Yeah, Kyle's mum's a massive whore. Just letting you all know. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was in sort of two minds of like, this could have just ended fine, but at the same time, I would love to see the film, and I'm 100% down for it. I'm glad we're in this era of TV shows going into films. Obviously, of course, we've got Mandalorian, Grogu happening, which is set after the series. So I like this. I really like this. That we're getting sort of, it's like getting an extra finale, but quadrupled in scale.
Yeah. Yeah, it's becoming like, it's always kind of been a thing as well, though, hasn't it? It's been like, all right, you get your seasons, and it's like, if it's successful enough, here's a movie. So, yeah. Look, and this is reignited my curiosity in the show again, because I've seen the first 5 seasons, I believe. Is it a 6-season show?
I think we're getting lost the connection there.
No, you're all right, you.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, what did you say? Seasons?
Is it a 5 or is it a 6-season show?
Six.
Yeah.
6.
So I've definitely seen the first 5. I think I've even seen the first episode of 6 as well.
6. I was worried about 6. Obviously, of course, that there was the terrible tragedy of Helen McCory, who plays Polly Gray in the show.
Yeah.
Amazing character. So obviously they would have had to work around that, and you know what? They pay homage to her in such a beautiful way from the get-go, and it does. The last season does feel like it is missing one of its lungs or its hearts or something like that. It's definitely.
Annie Taylor-Joy's in this, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
Yeah, right. All right, yeah. Cool.
She's got a very irritating accent, but she's a great character nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so it was sad, obviously, with that, but even then, still, the season, they managed to pull through and give us a great season. But it is really sad that this character, this great actress, she's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But she's in a majority of the show anyways, and she could easily be some of the best parts of the show as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And look, one of the things I love about this show is how it evolved every season to something different. You know, they start low level and then they start getting into the big leagues, and it's actually surprising how far up the big leagues actually go. Because know where I was watching it last, he's in Parliament, so.
Yeah, they contact Capone as well. They get in contact with him and all the mafia over in America and stuff like that. So it's
season really... 4 in it when Adrian Brody's character, like the American gangster, Luca.
Yeah.
Luca
Changretta.
Yeah, and he comes over. I thought that was a great fucking season. So
you know what? That's it's not my favorite though.
Is it not?
It's not my favourite. No.
I just love how he plays him. I love how he plays him. No spoilers, obviously, guys, but
listen.
Get this show watched.
Show is fucking great. It's got a phenomenal cast. You'll recognise loads of people in it. It's got the dude from the first Jurassic Park film. Sorry. It's got a lot. This is jam packed. It's got Tom Hardy, who is genuinely, I think he's got his best performance in this show.
So I know this was quite a global phenomenon anyway, this show, but our American audience, if you haven't seen, because I'm not going to say it to our British audience, because when I were walking into work and everyone was like, I think something else were on at the same time when season 6 were coming out, so I don't think I got around to watching it, as everyone's like, you watched season 6 Peaky Blinders yet? I was like, no, I ain't watched it, and that is literally everyone I work with, so yeah. It's a big British thing, but our American audience who haven't seen it, watch the show. Watch the show before this film comes out, because it's great. But right. Let's get on to our next topic. Wow, look at that. We changed.
I thought you was going to do it. Okay, you did it a different way from how I planned.
We'll do it like this.
Very
right.
Interesting.
Hellboy, the Crooked Man. We saw this on Friday. I think we did need a bit of time to think about this, because it's, first things first, it's weird. I know that the American audience isn't seeing this in cinemas at all. It'll get a digital release on the 7th, so I think that's next Monday or Tuesday even. So it's still a week until people can see it. So I'm going to go, we're both going to go non-spoilery at the beginning, first half of review, and then we're going to talk spoilers if we feel like it's necessary towards the end.
I definitely think we could a little bit.
But
to start this off, of course, this is on a much smaller budget. It didn't really get any marketing other than like a solid trailer. The budget, it's sad, because like if this probably had a bit of a bigger budget, it could have probably been phenomenal. I just think there's a lot of things going for it. First off, I want to say Hellboy, if they do anything now in the future, whether it be a show or a movie, it needs to go full horror because it works so fucking well for this universe and this character. So, you know, with the last film we got, which was sort of, I never saw it. It looked like it was trying to copy a Marvel
Big
or a superhero
spectacle sort of film.
Yeah, it just for me, I didn't find it appealing, despite David Harbour playing the role. This though, I mean, this is a Hellboy. This is you know, if it wasn't for the film, and you know, I think the film holds it back. But definitely, if you know, you put sort of this guy in the place of Ron Perlman's, I mean, they're very close here. They're very close.
Yeah, Jack Kesey was great in this. I actually really liked his Hellboy. Chain smoking all the time. You know, the prosthetics and stuff like that were serviceable for the film. You know,
I think the worst part for his prosthetics was definitely just the hair on the side. That was like the only bad part that I saw of the film. Everything else looked great because you see his torso, his chest, you know, the horns and stuff, the way, the colour, the shading of it looks really good on screen.
And, you know, there's bits, like we say with the budget, there's bits in this film where they're walking somewhere and it's a bit too dark because they don't want to show you everything that's going on. There's something right at the beginning with the CGI. It's like, all right, but I know what I'm getting myself into here. I'm accepting this budget from the beginning. So it's 100%. Like, I'm not going to judge it on that because I know it's not the Marvels and it fucking still having some shit CGI in it. So then, and this one, shit CGI, it worked for the film. But the biggest thing I want to say about this film is it was creepy. It was creepy.
Yes.
It wasn't an action film, but had some pretty good action moments in it. But I think this whole film was about atmosphere, you know, and how it made you feel, and just people being about, you know. This isn't really spoilery, but this is set in the 1950s going into the 60s. I love the whole premise of this film is we need to get to a phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like, oh, that's why it's great setting it back then.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, you know, it's a great thing when movies do this. They take it back a notch. Look, you start adding all this advanced technology and all this nano stuff, you know, like the Marvel films are doing. You kind of lose that weight of it. Do you know what I mean? It loses something. It's cool, you know, it's flashy, it's new, but it just, you know, I think a good way to counter that is definitely going back in time, slimming things down a bit, restricting some of the bits, and I think that's obviously, of course, because of the budget, you know, let's be real here, but what they did with the budget here, fucking fantastic. I think my big issues with it is definitely, I don't know if it was because of the cinema we seen it in, but it was hard to understand certain characters when they were speaking. It was very
that's like Appalachian Mountains for you.
Well, it's not even that. It's just that the sound felt a little muffled at times. Visually, though, everything I seen on screen was fucking amazing. It looked so good.
Crooked Man looked great.
I'm on the side of I don't think the Crooked Man looked that great.
Do you not?
No, I would rather have a bit more of a mystery to the character, but I felt like you just see his face. You know, they show his face. They don't have any sort of like creepy unknown elements to him. It's just kind of that's his face. There he is.
I like the slow approaching bit of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And the
yeah, I think, you know,
and the horny horse lady.
Yeah, the plot of the film is definitely interesting. It's, you know, I don't see too many holes in the plot, and I don't see any sort of real major issues. I just think it's the pacing of the film that it's where it's suffering.
Yes.
Because at least the beginning was sound, it was fine. but then you jump straight to, again, don't want to do any spoilers, but you jump to introducing a character that plays a pivotal role in obviously in the story. He's in the story for the most of the film. I just don't feel like he was introduced. It was like, oh, he's fucking there and he's talking. It's like there was no introduction.
It suffers from runtime and pacing. And
yes.
But I would say that's my biggest issues with it. I really feel like they should have given this a chance to go full cinematic. Not film-wise, like a full cinematic release, because not even a full one, but like at least put it out there to show some interest in it, because I feel like this is just me, because I'm saying this right now, I rather enjoyed this film. I think this might go down as like a Dread. It's like everyone's like, nobody saw Dread when it came out, and then it's like, that's a film like I want to find myself wanting to watch all the time. Now, maybe not as good. I'm not saying this is as good as Dread, because Dread's fucking phenomenal. And I'm not even saying this is going to be.
I would watch this again.
I really want to watch this again, but it's like,
yeah,
I don't think I need to see it in cinema again, though. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I feel like, for me, just on the visual side, I think I would like to. Again, because the visual, the atmosphere, the creepy tone of it, it looks great. It looks magnificent on the big screen, and it really works for it. Like, we went into this, after hearing that this isn't getting a full theatrical run, I went into it thinking, okay, so this isn't going to be as, it's not going to have that cinema feel to it.
Yeah.
Like some films do. We've had films that have released in cinema, and it's like it could have released on TV or on streaming. On the opposite side, one that's come out recently, Prey, that should have been in the cinema. Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But it's just, it's one of those weird things, and it worked for the cinema. It really worked for the cinema. It's just sad that not a lot of people are going to get a chance to see it in the cinema.
Well, the three of us was in there, and there was only 2 other people.
Yeah.
And this was Friday night, a decent time. You'd have thought it would have been at least a couple of people wondering in, going, I'll just go check what's going on at movies. I'll go see that.
Yeah.
So
it's sad, but that's what we got to do, I guess. But if you get a chance to see this film, if you can go see it in the cinema, I think, Callum, you would agree with me. Definitely go see it in the cinema.
Well, I say see everything in the cinema. If there's a chance to see it in the cinema, that experience will be with you as your first experience of it, and it's always better to see it that way. So that's what I'm with here. So yeah, guys, get your biggest TV. If it's showing anywhere near you right now, go see it. I'm not saying this is an amazing film, but it deserves a little bit of love. It's fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And it didn't... What do I say? What's the biggest sin of a film?
What, bore you?
Yeah. It didn't bore me once.
No, it suffered from the pacing issue, but because of just like we were saying, just the world of it and the way it looks and everything, and
not like a dragging pace. It was like a bit too fast paced and some weird cuts.
Yes, it did. Yeah. In the middle though, I do think it kind of drags some of the bits, but just the sort of like when they're moving from place to place, that's where I felt like it dragged a bit. But no, definitely this film, it kept me hooked, because we was with our friend Wayne, and he just turned to me and said, "This is fucking weird," and he asked me, "Do you like it?" And I'm like, "I think so, yeah," because I'm intrigued. Yeah. I'm hooked. So yeah, it definitely keeps you hooked. I agree with Callum. I don't think this is like the best film of the year or phenomenal or anything like that.
Top 10. It's not, but it's worth watching.
It's pretty damn good. Yeah.
And I feel like if this was having a theatrical release and people were going out to see it, I wouldn't feel like I need to sit here and say as much, going, go watch it. But I feel like this is going to fly under the radar for a lot of people. I'd show up, like people at work will say, "Oh, what you doing? What you seeing this weekend?" Because I know I like to go to movies. And they say, oh, what are you going to be reviewing and stuff like that. So I'm off to go see new Hellboy. It's like, there's a new Hellboy coming out. The day it was coming out.
Yeah, I spoke to a friend as well, and they said the same thing. They actually thought it was a show that was meant to come out. Now, one thing I want to say here as well is, if they were not going to give this a full theatrical run, then why not just, take it back a bit? You've got all your production there. Yeah. Maybe, put a little bit of money into it and make it a show. Because show is, making shows now is the hot thing right now.
Yeah.
And having a horror-esque, selling it to, one of the big companies out there.
Yeah. A horror-esque Hellboy show coming out around about Halloween would have done pretty well, I think.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But like as well as said, I'm not saying this is a scary film. It's just creepy and weird. And it's definitely a step in the right direction for Hellboy. Maybe in another 5 years or so we get a show with Jack Casey. Or maybe the recast again. Obviously, I'd love to see him back in the role. I thought he was great as Hellboy.
100%.
Really nailed the character, I think. And yes, just because I'm saying I love Jack Casey as Hellboy doesn't mean I automatically hate Ron Perlman as Hellboy. Yeah, we're understanding how black and white the internet is these days. Of like, well, you said you like that, so that must mean you hate that. No, I love Ron Perlman as well, but Jack, he was great. I do want to see more of him. I don't think we will, and that's something I'll live with. But we've got this good film to watch. Very comic book accurate as well.
Yep. I don't really... I think, now that we've spoken about it, I don't think there's really anything spoiler-esque to talk about. But, I'm just going to say it anyways. Spoilers, in case there is something. I can't really think of anything that I can necessarily spoil. I think the ending of the film could have had a bit more work. I felt like the church scene in the middle got all the love, whereas the ending sort of didn't. You can definitely tell the budget went into that church, but it worked. It was a great set piece, and it worked.
Well, it gives you your action in the middle, and then let's give you your horror at the end. I feel like that's the angle they were going with.
Sort of, It went horror, action, horror kind of thing. Yeah.
But a lot of body horror as well. Stuff happening to people.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is the raccoon, the snake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a lot of fucked up witchcraft-esque things that happen in this film, but it worked. It worked really well for this film, and I do hope this is a universe that we will come back to, and I do hope that this is a Hellboy.
Yeah.
This is our Hellboy. You know what I mean?
Do you find yourself now maybe wanting to read The Crooked Man?
I think so, yeah. This has got me more interested in the Hellboy character than, I don't want to say it, but the Ron Perlman films. Just the atmosphere is very different from what I kind of expected. I knew this film, going into this film, it was going to be different. I didn't expect it to be this different. And I loved every bit of it. It got me really hooked, and I think I definitely will.
Yeah, no, it's a solid read actually, and this is coming from someone who can't read.
Nice.
So, what we're giving it out of 10?
I want to give it a 6.5.
I'm about there with you. I'm gonna say, because I'm feeling a bit more generous because no one's going to see it. I'm gonna say 6.9. It's not quite a 7. But it's fun and enjoyable. And look, if you're just going to chuck it on at home, it's worth it. It's not that long. It's an hour and 40 minutes with credits. So, definitely.
I mean, do you know what? I'll say this, right? Instead of going to watch those god-awful horror films that are probably coming out during the Halloween period, go see this if you can. If you've got this playing at the cinema, go see this. It's got that creepy vibe, it fits the tone, and it's not going to be, shit. It's not amazing or anything, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, You know, you have more chance of enjoying this than, I'd say, the horrible ass horror flicks we get these days.
Look, am I going to remember this film by the end of the year? You know, when it comes to lists? Probably not. But let's say I'm flicking through Netflix, for example, in a year's time, and it's on there. You know, when you're looking for stuff to watch, that I'd see that and I'd go, oh, fuck yeah, I'm sticking that on.
I disagree and agree at the same time. I think I still will remember it towards the end of the year if we're doing our top 10. I think it's a contender for somewhere.
It's like the honourable mention.
Mention. Somewhat like that, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, 6.9 from me, or 69. Right, guys, let us know. Did you see Hellboy the Crooked Man? Was it showing in your area? Did you know there was a new Hellboy movie out? Did you see it? Did you not like it? Let us know. You know, we're open to everything. Do you think Jack Kesey was a good Hellboy? Do you think he wasn't that good? Did you like the prosthetics? Did you not? Did you like the new Hellboy? Who knows? What did you think of the film? And I'm going to start chain smoking and then eating my cigarettes halfway through.
Nice.
First time he did that, I was like, that's fucking gross. He just keeps doing it. But yeah, right. Cheers, guys.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for watching. Oh, you want to add, Kyle?
No.
No. Right. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.